Hello, welcome to the channel. Today is part 2. We're going to be fitting the additional plate and finish off the repair that we started. The machine was booked out on the Monday, which was the day after we carried out this repair. I ordered the plate on that Monday, which we now have. So we're going to go through this step by step. There's a link to the first video in the description, so join us. So we've prepared the area, and we're going to have the plate on this area here, which is on top of the stick. We're not going to put anything on the sides because the side has to be that width so we can fit either a bucket or, in my case, the quick hitch. So we can't plate on the sides. So we'll be putting a plate right to the end of here, and we'll probably overlap it over there for maximum coverage. Under here, there's not a lot we're going to do under here. It broke on there and we've welded all that round there. We're going to leave that. We're not going to do anything on the back side of the stick because it didn't break there and everything's in very good condition. That was the failure point across there. We're going to put additional plate on there. So as you can see, we've taken the paint off and I'm now going to prepare the plate. First, we need to cut the steel to the right size. So we're going to measure. We're going to go with 11 inch, 10 and a half. I think we're going to go with 10.5 inches. That will cover and strengthen that area. So we're going to cut it now. So here's the plate. It's 5/16, which is just over 1/4 inch, which is strong enough for what we're doing. And what did we say? 10.5 inches. So the plate, as you can see, is just under 6 inches wide. The arm on the machine is about 5 inches before it starts to curve. So we'll get this attached and we'll heat up the edges and we'll bend the edges just around the arm, and then we'll run a seam of weld down so we've got maximum coverage. That's the plate. Like that. And we'll warm these edges up and we'll just bend those, we'll just knock them round, and then we'll put a seam of weld down the side so we've got maximum coverage. We just need to clean up that bit of weld. There's a bit of a high spot there, so we'll get the grinder on there first, and then we'll tack a weld on there just to hold the plate in. So we've just put a bit of weld across the top. That will hold the plate in. We've used about 300 amps of power, so we are getting that heat in there, which we need. We need the penetration. We're going to just warm up across here with the torch and just knock this down because there's just a very slight gap there. So we're going to try and close that up. So we've curved the plate around, and we're going to run a bead of weld all the way around up the other side, and then we'll get some more weld on around here and grind it down flat. Now I've got some grinding discs, we can finish that a little bit better, and we'll let it cool down and give some, let it have some paint, and I wouldn't expect that would fail ever again. So we've welded all the way around our additional plate, as you can see. I'm going to put some weld around here now, and now I've got some grinding disc. We'll flat it back down, flat it off, just to make it a little bit better than it is, and add a little additional strength with the weld. Right, we're finished. So we put the plate on. Just like I said, we've curved it around the arm. We've put a full bead weld around there, and we've tidied up the sides. Now again, we can't plate the sides, so I've had to weld and grind back. So before the rain comes, we're going to get that painted and get the quick hitch back on and get it all packed away, because it's out in a couple of days. Yeah, I think that'll all. Yeah. You can barely see that plate now. As you can see, as you crowd your bucket fully in, that part of your linkage rests on that part of your arm, which is now the plate. So you don't want that plate too thick, because you'll be adding unnecessary additional weight to the end of the arm, which is not ideal. But the thicker that plate is, it will stop your bucket crowding up and closing as tight. Where I've got that, I'm not losing any closing position, so it will still close as tight as it did before, because there were a little gap there before. Obviously now you've got no gap and it's tight on that plate, so it'll tighten up nice and tight, and retaining the full movement. So I think that went pretty well. I'm quite happy with that. So we've had time today, we've had time to do it, take its time, do it properly, we've got the right materials, and we're going to put the machine to work. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, but she's out from Tuesday next week. Remember, if you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. We'll see you next time. Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to carry out this part 2 repair. I've now got the correct
No,
lines.
no, don't mention the plate. This is just part 2 of mending the back actor where you're fitting the strengthener plate. That's all I want. That's all I want. Those words that I've given you, mix them how you like, but those are the words I want. Okay?
What are the words? what we need the script and the wording. We need it on an auto cue, so I don't have to keep looking at these bits of paper. Shall we make a start? What's this? Take 6?
No, this is take 10.
All right.